Okay, and welcome to episode 27 of the Freedom Hustles podcast. This is the podcast dedicated to all the best hassle-free hustles to give you more time and money freedom. My name's Andy Lehman, and I am from freedomskillsacademy.com, and I am with...
John Banks over at sideincommand.com.
How are you doing, John?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, not bad.
You're good?
Yeah, we were just talking, weren't we, about, a few things just before we got on air. Raising capital for stuff, and it kind of leads a little bit into what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is basically digital products. So the many forms of I think we've delved into it on a few episodes before. The benefits, I think the benefits far outweigh the sort of negatives in terms of digital products. So yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So perhaps you want to start off by going into just a sort of brief overview of what they are and what people can create.
Okay, yeah, we've discussed many quite a few times certain products, but basically we've done it's mainly like 3 or 4 really, isn't it? There's the ebook. We've talked about the ebook. We've talked about basically courses, which is like the videos. These are digital products that you kind of sell to other people to learn from, but there are so many other different types of digital products that aren't necessarily about learning from. There's the entertainment, like you say, there could be fiction books, fiction ebooks where people can read. There's music, there's royalty free, there's templates, there's print offs. There's quite a lot of different things that people can sell. I mean, sometimes in this industry, people sort of come in wanting to make loads of money, and so they go down the make money route. And then you take a step back and you look, and then you see somebody with a website who's actually making quite a lot of money doing social media templates. I think, wasn't you telling me about this the other day?
Yeah, I mean, this is an amazing one. I mean, I'm going to do a bit more of a sort of a deeper dive into this. I must admit, it's not something. I mean, I was aware of it, but I didn't think it was that big, really. So basically, what we're talking about here is templates in the form of sort of graphical templates that people can use. So the example that I found, I mean, we've talked about a little bit before Pinterest, which is obviously a big channel, which is heavily visual. Okay, so you need to make a lot of pins. Okay,
yeah.
So let's say you've done a blog post, for example, or let's say in our case you've done a podcast or a YouTube video, whatever, something that you want to promote on Pinterest. Pinterest even recommend now that you don't just do it once. You might need something like 10 pins, different variations, just for that one blog post to share out, multiple times across multiple boards, perhaps drip fed over a certain amount of time. And what I found, because I use a program called Canva. Now, a lot of people will be familiar with that. It's a really user-friendly kind of graphical tool. I mean, I use that to do all my kind of graphic stuff. I'm not a big Photoshop geek or anything like that. So I use Canva. And so what you can do with that is you can obviously make up these pins. Now, what this woman had done, it was really clever. She had made an Etsy store, and all she was selling was templates for Canva. Okay. So she had basically created 10 templates, which was kind of like a framework. It would have insert image here, put your text here, description here, or something like that. And it was just broken down in sort of 10 different styles. And I mean, I looked at it and I thought, what an amazing idea. That's a really simple thing to do. It's very, very, very popular, especially in the Pinterest world. People want, a helping hand. They want a head start. They want something that they can just sit on the computer and quickly do, So, and she was selling those. So she was selling templates for Canva for Pinterest. And I think her reviews it was crazy. It was something like 4,500 reviews and these were like $15. So she had spent the time up front to make these templates up, put them on her Etsy store. And it wasn't, I mean, her Etsy store was huge. It was all about graphical templates. And that for me is that's something that is fairly low entry. You know, it's something that once you've picked up the skills on Canva or something like that, you anyone could do that, and you could make it branded. You could make it, you know, you only do a certain style. Perhaps you do like this, you know, mumpreneur blogs, or, you know, like the girl boss ones, or that sort of style. And yeah, it was great. So, I mean, that was a digital product that perhaps a lot of people haven't really thought about.
Kind of give me an idea there as well, that which I think is a good one, because we're talking about templates. So a lot of people are either busy or they don't know how to use a system like Canva, or they're sort of a lot of people are lazy, but they don't want to pay out for a graphic designer or a freelancer to do the full work. So they get these templates to work with. If you're setting up an internet sort of business or an online business, you could, one of the packages that people need is if they're going to set up a YouTube channel or Twitter, Facebook, even possibly TikTok, like a blog. There's all the sort of headers, like you say, the branding. So you could create, as long as you've got all the sizes. So a package could be the whole complete social media package. So they buy the templates that they can use in something like Canva to create their YouTube video sort of graphics, their header for the website, the header for Twitter,
Facebook page.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, and I thought it was an amazing idea. So that's kind of one. That's kind of a low entry one. There's some other low entry ones, which, again, like you mentioned, it isn't necessarily down the tutorial kind of teaching road. It could be along, you know, for example, print on demand. I mean, we've talked about that loads of times before. They are essentially digital products, although they may form a physical thing, like if it's a t-shirt or a mug or a phone case. Obviously, that's a real, you know, something, you know, a physical product. But your job isn't to do any of the physical stuff at all. You know, your job is literally to come up with the designs. So if you sell print on demand t-shirts, again, that is really a form of a digital product, because your job is the graphics, isn't it?
And we've been talking about templates. I've actually seen on over the years on several places, people selling t-shirt designs in packages.
Yeah.
So like they are designs that you can buy. So I mean, if you did 20 t-shirt designs on whatever paint or something one day, bundle them together, stick them on Etsy or your own website, stick them on Facebook, and sell them. You go to places like JVZoo, you'll see lots of things like that, templates being sold. Like I say, there's t-shirts. I mean, I remember many years ago, I think you bought a package of t-shirts, and I bought a package of templates it was an arts package, but it was kind of like a manga AIM package for drawing with a tablet. And one of the packages you got was templates for comics.
Yeah.
So basically, it was this large graphics pack, and you would upload it into the arts package, and it had all these little boxes with the whatever's like, so it's laid out like a comic, and you could draw into those boxes. Yeah. So I mean, that's another someone sat there and thought, you know what, I'm going to create a load of comic style pages, bundle them together, and then sell them as a package. And I went and bought one.
Yeah. Another one is great for the sort of low entry, is the kind of notebooks, low content books on Amazon, which, you know, I don't know if we've mentioned that before, but again, your job literally is to come up with the design, really, the cover design. So once you do that, you let Amazon handle the rest of it. And, you know, you'll make sales every month and you get a paycheck every month. And, you know, the beauty of it is, again, like with everything here that we're talking about tonight, the key message is you build it, or you design it, or you write it once, and you can sell it over and over again. You know, it's not like you know, if you're running a proper t-shirt business, you know, from a shop, you know, you've got to buy parts, you've got to buy materials. There's so many overheads involved. Whereas the digital product, you make it once.
I can tell you that from experience, because for those who don't know, several years ago, I used to print my own t-shirts. I had a 6-screen carousel, so I was screen printing t-shirts. I'd have to buy the t-shirts, buy the ink, I have to set the screens up, everything. I had to print the t-shirts, post them they put them in bags, send them off. And there's quite a lot of work involved. Like you say, with the digital world, it's different. You design them and you let somebody else do the work. But going back to your notebooks, as you said there, your idea is to design the notebooks. Once you've got a load of sort of different formats, notebooks or ebook formats, again, they could be actually bundled up as just sort of templates.
Yeah,
Then you can
exactly.
sell to people. So it could be like 10 low content book templates for people to work. They
Yeah,
just simply pay you
yeah,
£10 for it, kind of like a PLR sort of thing. They get the rights to use them,
yeah.
and they take them and then use them to create their own books. Like you said, all they have to do then is just create their own graphic cover
Covers and that's it.
and then sell them on Amazon.
Yeah, because that's an important part of it. If you're going to go down the book route, that is a part of it. Yeah, you do need to come up with you need to make, say, like 100-page lined, 8 by 5 inches by 5 inches book. Right, you need to actually make that first. But once you've made that once, like you say, you sell it, you save it as a PDF file, and that's it. You can then make thousands if you want of that same size book, just with a different cover on it. And then obviously you list it differently depending on what keywords and that you're going after. So, I mean,
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, going back to the more traditional ones, perhaps, if you like, ebooks, courses, that sort of thing. There's a bit more to it with those, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. But one thing about the digital world is, like you said, there's so many different variations. You don't have to go down those specific routes. A couple of examples is that Ted Nicholas, who was a well-known copywriter many, many years ago, published a book, and he sold quite a lot through direct mail. And the book was basically a load of pull-out sheets for setting up your own business. So, because in them days you have to go to the accountant, they'd set up the business, and it was very expensive. Yeah. So he gathered all the necessary forms together, put them in a book, and then sold them. So they were basically just business templates. Now we live in the digital world. That is one of the main things. That's a big thing. Like I say, people think I've got to do a course, I've got to create an ebook. That's not necessarily true. You can actually create packages where I suppose you can call them like swipe files. You can buy email templates. So you can have a series of different emails that you can use to send to people. And it'll be like, dear name here, and in brackets. And it's kind of laid out so the person can fill it and send it out to certain people, but you just sell them the template. Resumes, that's another one I've seen. I've seen websites. I think I saw a website for sale that was selling quite well, but they were doing resumes. They were printing off just basically you buy specific style templates for resumes.
Yeah. Another one I've seen, which is quite a popular one, certainly in the kind of money savvy, money saving type niche. It's quite popular on Instagram. A lot of people sell printables, and it could be in the form, especially like we're talking about it, in the niche, in the sort of money savings niche, sort of the frugal, stuff. There's a lot of money saving, like planners and like savings challenges and these like wallets and all these. There's loads of different techniques for saving money, but they're quite big. I mean, the printables. So they basically sell a digital file. It may only be a couple of quid or a couple of dollars, or even if it's $5, and then the person that buys it prints it off, and then they use it however they want. They can stick it on their wall, they can track their progress. But it's essentially, like you say, they've just created this grid or this template, perhaps a little bit of branding on it, and there you go. I mean, that is, in its most basic form. Yeah,
I've seen similar things where people have created designs for woodwork, designs for laying out things like camper vans as well. Yeah, basically, they've taken the time. Plans, basically, that's what it is. The plans, and they are printable. And like you said, you may only pay like a couple of quid for a pack of 10 or something that you print off. I mean, technically, I suppose once you've got them, you can print as many as you want off, but you probably pay a couple of quid. But it's kind of similar to that old Woolworths idea, I suppose, of buy them cheap and stack them high sort of thing. So instead of trying to get one person to buy a £197 course, which is great when it happens, it's ka-ching sort of thing. But if you're selling something for a couple of quid and it's something that appeals or it has a wider market, you could probably have several hundred people buying them over each week. There's like you've got your wedding planning checklists, wedding speeches. I think I've seen people. You can go online and find templates for speeches. It's just one of those endless sort of if people need it and you can make their life easier and you can give them a template to work from, somebody somewhere is going to buy it just for the ease that you're making in their life. And if it's cheap as chips, you'll probably get quite a few buyers.
And I think, see, like I say, I do need to explore this a little bit further, and I think I will. I'm not necessarily going to do it, but I'm definitely going to look into it a bit more. But yeah, I think that the whole kind of template game, I don't want to just spend the whole thing talking about templates, but the whole kind of template and plans and that sort of digital stuff that I think is really, I mean, anyone with a little bit of knowledge about a certain subject could do. That's where I think Etsy, ETSY, the Etsy stores are really good for that. I mean, you can basically set up your own shop, if you like, your own store that comes with all that. You've got your payment buttons and everything. I think all they do is that they just take a little cut of every sale. Obviously, that's how they make their money. But so yeah, so go back to the more traditional stuff. I mean, ebooks, courses.
Yeah.
A lot more to it, isn't there? A lot more to it. That's not the type of, knock it up in an evening.
No, they can take a while. But as we said earlier, it's one of those things, it's one of those, because of the digital world, once you've made it, then you can sell it over and over again for years to come.
Yeah.
Also, with the digital world, it's a lot better because the you can get into the world a lot easier with the sort of digital products of selling, because in the old days, if it was like a book, you had to go to publishers, you had to go and if you self-publish, you'd have to buy several thousand, because the publishers would only do like a several thousand run, which would cost you a fortune. But it's anybody can sort of enter into these sort of markets now, because you've got Google Docs, you've got Microsoft Word, you can write a book. You can format it yourself. You can get templates from certain places for them. Once you're done, convert it into a PDF, pop it online. Your job's done. You start the next one, and it's. I mean, it's the same with music, isn't it? I mean, we've moved from the idea of CDs, records, and tapes to
it's all
MP3s.
downloads,
So
all digital now.
WAVs, you got your WAV files and your FLAC files. Go to Bandcamp. I don't know if you ever use Bandcamp, but you can just buy the digital downloads of music, pound here now, or go to Amazon. And I mean, music is one of those things that's probably pilfered the most. Most people, it's probably very easy to get hold of. But technically, you could create a piece of music, stick it online. If you sell it 10,000 times, that's 10 grand from one thing that's online. And then there's the other form of digital product with music, and that is those with royalty-free sort of licensing, which allows you to use it YouTube and stuff like that. There are platforms where you can upload your money, upload your music, which people pay to use on a regular basis.
And that same model applies to, I think, photography as well. I mean, there's a lot of websites now that will pay you for, your photos and that sort of thing. So yeah, just going back, I mean, ebooks, like you say, a little bit more to it than that. You need to really be thinking about what you're looking for, who your audience are, what problems you're actually going to be solving, unless you're obviously doing fictional stuff. But courses definitely need to have a purpose, really. They need to have an audience. They need to solve a problem. They need to, fix someone's pain issue, or, again, like I said, solve a problem of sorts. But the good thing, when you start getting into the sort of courses, probably even ebooks as well, but once you start getting into courses, video courses and stuff that can, really help somebody out, you can start to charge a bit more of a premium now. You're not going to be you're not talking about a little bundle of templates here. You're talking about possibly hours worth of content that can make a difference in someone's life. So you can start now to charge a bit more. I mean, you can start charging upwards. I mean, we've seen courses that go for thousands of dollars, haven't we? I mean, I've sold stuff. I think the highest I've ever priced anything at is about 97, but I've seen stuff in the thousands of dollars. And then when you get to that stage as well, you've also got the beauty, because you're charging a premium, you can get affiliates to recruit, and they can then sell it for you. So, I mean, if you're prepared to sell something for $200 and give 50% away to anyone that sells it for you, I mean, and why wouldn't you do that for a start? Because if you've already made it, everyone that sells, you haven't got to make it again. It's cost you nothing extra. So you should definitely be given, a slice away to the affiliates.
I think I think when it comes to that, I think a lot of
Yeah.
marketers purposely double their price on a product so that they can give 50 away to the affiliates because they know the affiliates are going to go out there and sell twice as many.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they give it a ridiculous price, which it doesn't warrant. It a lot of the time they do because, like you say, they solve a problem or they change their lives. I mean, you get a video. You say that you download a film from Amazon with Arnold Schwarzenegger on it. You're going to pay probably about £10, £12 because it's fun. You're not going to pay £49, £97 to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger kill people. But if someone's got like a video course, and there's probably, let's say there's only half hour worth of content in there, but if that video course is going to take you from earning say 1,200 a month to say 5,000 a month, doing something that takes no more than half an hour a week, then people are willing to pay up to £197 for it. But you may think, I'll just sell it at 97. But if you put it at 197 and then give it to affiliates, and you're going to give them 50% of that, they're going to go out and spread it like wildfire, and you're going to get a lot more sales.
Yeah, it's well worth doing. So that I think that's when you get up to the sort of, the more. You don't have to, of course. I mean, you don't have to. You can still charge. You can charge whatever you want. I mean, it's yours at the end of the day. But I think the affiliate model, it almost warrants putting a little bit of more of a premium on it. There's another one that I wanted to just mention that we've not done, but we know people that have, and that's selling like software and WordPress themes. Again, make it once. Everything's now. You don't need gone are the days where you buy stuff on a floppy disk or on a CD or anything like that. But we know some tech guys, don't we, that they do that and they do all right out of it.
Well, I can tell you for myself, like one of the products that we sold last year for the company that I'm working for. Part of the product was to give away several WordPress templates, which is it's not exactly software itself, but it's part of the software process. It is a it is a template that they add to their website, and that was part of. And they were things that I created while I was creating the product. And I mean, WordPress themes, plugins. People make those and sell them, and as long.
And if you're really kind of savvy about it, you might not know how to code all that. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start, but you can hire someone to do it all for you, can't you? Pay them to do it, then you own it, and then you could do the selling of it.
The great thing about the modern world we live in at the moment is that even though you might say that Great Britain is first world, and you might go to somewhere in the Middle East or Africa or sort of an Asian country that you may consider is still an emerging country, they are possibly in some ways, but when it comes to the internet and connectability to the rest of the world, they're not. There's a lot of people over there who know coding, who know computer graphics, who can do this kind of stuff. And because of their emerging sort of nation status, their cost of living is probably a lot less than us. And so I'm not going to say that you'll get it done for peanuts, because that's in some ways that's offensive, but you can get a lot of good quality work done for a fraction of the price you'll pay someone here in the UK. And like you say, so you can go to someone. I mean, we know a couple of people over in sort of Bangladesh and India who are good at what they do, coders, and they know their computer sciences. We can go to them and just say, we would like a WordPress theme like this. Can you do it? And they'll be like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I know someone that made a Chrome extension. For those of you that know the Chrome web browser, you can download little extensions that can do various different jobs. And they downloaded a Chrome extension, and it was to see the plugins and the themes of a WordPress site. There's loads of them out now, but this is kind of when it was a fairly new thing. I think you paid something like $300 for the bloke to code it.
Yeah.
and he sold it thousands of times. He made, I think, well, at least 5 figures out of it easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just goes to show, that it can be done.
Not a bad investment, really, is it? I mean, but that goes for lots of things. You've got your, as we talked about your writing, talked about video production, all these other digital courses. Everything can be done, sort of overseas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a crazy, crazy world. Yes, I mean, we've talked about quite a few things, and like you say, there's PLR. That's another sort of done for you product. It's kind of like an ebook where you write loads of articles, but it's kind of like a template package in some ways, but it's content that can be used in on websites, in emails, in, I suppose you could even say put them in books, but not necessarily to sell on Kindle because they don't like duplicate content. But and then there's, like you said, also a lot of photography. But with the photography, there's so many sites out now. It's kind of, I suppose, in some ways saturated. So you've got to I suppose you've got to try and find an angle, haven't you, really, with some of these
maybe
things.
a niche, maybe a certain type, I wouldn't, something like that. I wouldn't go doing random, pictures of anything and everything. You probably have to carve out a specific type, I'd imagine.
But if you think of that woman on Etsy who's doing the templates you're talking about, if you combined your art with that kind of thing, so you could take photographs and so you put the two together. So your photography is the sort of background of those templates. Give yourself a bit of a different edge.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, we're getting to the sort of end now, but so I guess the sort of summary really for me would be that again, I would probably imagine that anything you're kind of going to blog about, if you've got a small website, if you've started a blog, or if you just started out, perhaps an Etsy store or something, there will almost certainly be some form of digital product that you could sell. Almost certainly.
Yeah.
So yeah, just take small steps. I mean, we should point out some of these, the ones that we've talked about tonight, you don't even need a website. Print on demand, don't need a website. Amazon Kindle books, you don't need a website. Amazon notebooks, you don't need a website. Fine. You could even start there. Start off selling a few things first, get used to the processes, and then go from there, really. But yeah, that's kind of it for me, sort of wrapping it up.
Yeah, there's really not much more I can say to that. I mean, another thing I just suddenly thought while we're talking about it, I've seen ebook designers coming up with packages, bundles of templates that you can edit for your own books. Again, it's an extra bonus from their sort of skill set, because you maybe just think like, as you're creating something, they can come up with a load of basics that they can sell as a package to other people. So sort of looking at it from that point of view is that when it comes to sort of blogging, or if you've got a business, or you like you say, got a website on there's so many different things that you can actually sell as a digital download, that it doesn't just have to be an ebook or a video tutorial.
Yeah.
As much as they are, wonderful, and you can price them high, but like you say, there is so many different things, from checklists to email bundles to planners, party invitations. There's all sorts of things that that you can use or create as a digital product. So it's definitely something worth looking into, because as we keep saying, it's one of them things that you create once and then you can sell it over and over again.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we'll leave it at that. Any questions, feel free to get in touch. So this has been episode 27. My name is John Banks. I've been over at thesideincommand.com.
I'm Andy Lehman from freedomskillsacademy.com. And thank you very much for listening. And we look forward to speaking with you next week.
Thank you very much.